All right, so this is how my game ended up paying off my student loans. This is how I sold enough to get 224 reviews. On the first day, I sold 1,000 copies. The game's been out for about 2 weeks. Sales have declined steadily, but I've sold enough to pay off my student loans, which were pretty high. So here we are. I'm going to tell you exactly how that happened, exactly how I did that with a game that started out looking like this right here. This is the prototype. Here's the game. I turned this into this. Yeah, we got, it's a little bit more high fidelity than something that looks like this. This doesn't have sound the way that you do everything. It's just way more pared down. But I turned this into a game that ended up paying off my student loans, and I'm going to tell you how to do that. So buckle in. All right, I made a crappy PowerPoint to show you how I paid off my student loans with my hobby project, Execute. So here it is. I used the dumb, whatever, you get it. All right, so this is how to win at Steam. Here are the 3 steps that I took in order to get my game to the point where it was. Number 1 says, make a good game. We've heard this before. I'll dive into how I did this in the next slide, but that is the very first step of the process. But unfortunately, as you can see here, this is an example of a very good game, a game that I recommend you go out and buy and play right now that has only probably sold, I would guess, in the ballpark of 1,000 copies, which is still excellent. It's still great. I think this is, a $5 game. It's on sale right now for $2.49. Please go buy this game. This game rules. This guy made a YouTube video. I think a lot of the attention came from that, but you can see that's not the only piece of the puzzle. You need to do more than just make a killer game in order to sell a lot of copies of your game. So here we'll go on to the next step. The next step is to make a demo. I don't know about that last game that I just showed, but you should make a demo, and the demo should be an online demo. I just had to add that part really quick. On the net, okay? We have the internet for a reason. Don't be a Luddite. Don't be like, I don't want to make a Web 5 build for my game. Dude, they made Fortnite clones that run on the internet. Look at this game. I hate this game. All of my students are playing this all the freaking time. Anytime you give them a computer, they jump on and they start playing this. And every time I see this, I'm like, Jesus, how does this even run on the internet? But if this thing can work, look, it's multiplayer. This thing is awful. They're on my team. That's probably why I got cooked. But my point is, if something like that can be made on the internet and you can make a demo like that on the internet, you should be able to put pretty much anything that you're making, if it's a small project, on the internet, okay? And right now I'm talking to people that are making small hobby projects, right? Remember the title of this? How I Paid Off My Student Loans with My Hobby Project. I'm assuming your hobby project is a little bit smaller, and right now it probably looks something like this little test project I showed you at the beginning, right? The equivalent of a platform or whatever the heck. So make a demo that you can play on the internet. That is important. All right, so once you've made your demo and you are funneling people from Itch or wherever else you post your demo, I highly recommend Itch, into your Steam wish list, you can do this thing right here. This is called Outreach, and this is the thing that our friend over here, it doesn't look like he did that. Maybe he did. I don't think he did. Maybe he did it a little bit, but by outreach, I mean like a lot. And I will get into outreach and how much you should do and what that even means in the next slide. Stick with me. So step 1, make a good game. What the heck does that even mean? All right, well, step 1 is play a ton of games. Please, for the love of God, play a ton of games. And you might be like, I don't really like playing games. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Or you might be like, I like to be inspired by nature. I love nature. I go outside, I look at pictures of nature and trees, and you get inspired by life, because life is what makes video games. And the guy who made Zelda just said that he made Zelda because of his backyard, and Zelda is one of the best-selling games of all time. Fine. Cool. All right. If you are a genius and you just have a perfect idea that you can translate into the language of video games without playing any games at all, then don't play any video games. But the whole point of playing a ton of video games, and the reason why I made that video that's on my channel right now called Devs Should Play More Games, is because I feel like a lot of developers that start making games just don't understand the basic language of video games. It's not because you need to play games to steal ideas from games, although that is a nice side effect. You need to understand the language of video games in order for your game to translate, because you can have a good idea, but if you can't translate it into game language, it's going to suck. Anyway, take notes while you're playing your games on your phone, voice memos, talk to yourself in your head, journal about it, and understand why you are having fun. This is the most important part. Why do I like this game? Oh my God, I love this game so much, so I'm going to make a game like it. I've seen this happen a million times with my game development students. They love a game so much, so they decide to make a game like it. And when it comes out and it's finished, it's not fun at all. And it's because they didn't understand why they liked the game that they were playing. So make sure you understand why you're having fun in your game before you go and try to make a game that's like it. All right. I'm not telling you to copy other people's games. Understand the mechanisms that are driving your fun. Please do this before you make any games. Otherwise, you're going to waste a lot of time. All right. Step 2, pick a marketable game. This is somewhat optional. All right. This is something that I accidentally did and then later realized that I did it and was like, oh, hell yeah, nice. I'm going to try to do that on purpose next time. This is somewhat not negotiable, this part. Elevator pitch. I'll explain more on the marketable part in just a second. But your elevator pitch should just be 1 sentence long, and your 1 sentence elevator pitch should sound super freaking fun. My God, right here. All right. This is my elevator pitch. It is on my Steam page. Let's go take a look right now. Check it out right here. This is the first thing that people see when they're looking at it. It says, kill everyone in the world with a guillotine on a cursed Windows 98 desktop. Now, that is the entire game. That's all you do. You kill everybody on an old computer with a guillotine and some other stuff, but whatever. The guillotine grabs people's attention. That's it. That's the whole game. I explain it all right there. And it sounds fun enough to people who like, that kind of thing, who like edgier things. They're immediately like, oh, that sounds interesting. I think I'd like to play that. If your game doesn't make people want to play it from 1 sentence, if it doesn't sound interesting, I think you're going to be fighting an uphill battle. All right. And that doesn't mean that you can't do it. I'm not telling you not to do that, because there's a ton of games. Balatro is a famous one. I remember when my friend told me about Balatro, he was like, dude, did they raise the price on this? Oh my God. Anyway, he was like, dude, it's poker and like there's these jokers, and the jokers add on stuff to your poker hands. And I was like, dude, you're an accountant. That sounds cool, I guess. I'm not a big poker fan. Jokers are kind of mid, like whatever. That sounds okay. But then I came to the landing page and I was like, all right, this looks fun. All right, sweet. I could probably get into this. And then you start looking at things blowing up, all the satisfying animations, stuff adding onto your cards, whatever. And then you play it and you're like, damn, this is one of the best games ever made. So even though this elevator pitch is too long, in my opinion, and a little bit weird, and this game has basically just been word of mouth, everybody saying, my God, this game is so awesome, you need to go play it. I think it's much easier. I think it's much easier if you just do yourself a favor and just make your game sound fun in 1 sentence. All right. Again, you don't have to do it, but you just got to make sure your game is the bee's knees. It's got to be the best thing ever made if it's not a 1 sentence elevator pitch thing. It's got to be something where the player gets in the game and immediately is like, oh yeah, this is great. And that's what Balatro is, and that's what a lot of games are that don't have a 1 sentence elevator pitch. They're just fun as soon as you get into the game. All right. But that's part of making a good game. Make it fun as heck, or make it easy to understand, or both, and you'll kill it. All right. Step 3, make the right design choices. All right. For me, you can see right here, this is the prototype guillotine animation. All right. You can see like his head deflates when it hits the ground. And that doesn't make any sense. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like, I don't know how to make a head bounce when it animates, but whatever. You understand that you're chopping his head off. His leg disappears under the blood. I didn't know what the heck I was doing at all. All right. I was making these little animations. They had this color scheme. And then you go to the mine animation and, it's all in black. And it's like, why did I choose to do that? Is that a rock? I mean, they look fine, right? They're serviceable. That's not the point. We're all creative here. If you're a developer, you're creative. It's serviceable. That's fine. You can obviously do art. You can decide to get better at your art. That's totally okay. But hear me out here. Here's the pixel art. This is the guillotine animation that ended up coming. This is my artist's YouTube channel. His name is Giovanni Fim, and here's a lot of the art that he did for my game. This is way better. Way better. This is leagues beyond what I could have created. Probably, maybe if I had spent the year, teaching myself how to do pixel art, I could have probably drawn one or two of these things, but it would have taken so freaking long. But I knew what I wanted, and I knew how to talk to people, and I knew how to explain what I wanted, and so play to your strengths. I think most of the time when you're a developer, you know how to program, but you're bad at sound design, or you're bad at art, or you're bad at UI, or whatever. Find some people. The other thing that I did for my game is this UI right here. I put it into the game, but I got a UI pack. I bought an asset pack, and I think there used to be this stigma around buying asset packs. When I was growing up, it was like, oh, don't make an asset flip. Don't make an asset flip. Obviously, like, you want your game to look good. I didn't buy that asset pack because I wanted my game to look like shit. I bought that asset pack because I knew that I couldn't draw a Windows 98 UI that would look good. So I found one that I was able to use because my vision included that. Play to your strengths. Don't feel like you have to make everything by yourself. Go find other people that have done awesome stuff for you and use the stuff that they've made. There's people who make a living drawing and creating assets for developers who that can go and use it and actually make it, live and breathe. So use that stuff. Hire artists. They need money, and it doesn't cost a ton of money to, especially if your scope is really small, to make the art that you're going to need. Step 4, let people play your game. Okay, before you make a demo, because the next step is to make a demo. But before you make a demo, I know a lot of developers, it took me a while to get past this, but a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to let people play it because they won't understand. And like, it's going to hurt my feelings. Like, that's fine. That's okay. You don't want to accidentally spend 2 years making a game that sucks. Let somebody play it. I usually let my girlfriend play it. I'm like, hey, play this. She's really mean to me when it comes to this kind of stuff. She's very honest and doesn't care if she hurts my feelings. So I can give her my game and she'll be honest with me. And I know that if it's fun, she'll tell me it's fun and it means I'm on the right track. I also give it to some of my other friends and bounce out a build that they can play and they can tell me if it's fun. Do that. All right, let people play it before it's finished and let them get in your head a little bit so that you can think about some of the things that you should probably be making happen. All right, let's check out the next slide. Step 2 is to build a demo. And step 1 of step 2 is to post it to Itch. I highly recommend Itch because it's free, because you can make a little bit of money. I only made like $100, but it covered my Steam license. And just because it's really popular, and the itch algorithm gives you a pretty nice boost when you first post something. So I wouldn't post right away. Make sure you've got a nice build that's fun. You've tested it with some friends or whatever. Put it on Itch. Make sure that it works, and then set it live. Post it on Reddit, and get the word out that your demo's out there, and make it very clear that it is a playtest demo and that you're looking for feedback. Be also aware that the community on Itch is different than the community on Steam. If people on Itch are having issues with your game, their feedback is useful, but beware that it's not always the end all. You don't always need to make that audience the happiest that they possibly need to be. You need to make your paying customers as happy as they need to be, all right? But the second step is this. Make sure you have a wish list button in your game, and make sure you have a Discord link in your game, because there is some overlap. There's some Steam players that go on Itch to find some stuff, early content creators, whatever. You want to make sure that you're bringing them into your game, because these are going to be very important in the next step, all right? You need wish lists, and you want wish lists of people that like your game. You don't want random wish lists. You want nice wish lists, all right? And then a Discord link in your game. This is important because of this. You got to build a community. Dang it, man. I don't want to be a Discord mod. I don't want to build a community. Well, because if you don't tell anybody about how your game is going, about how it's working, about what's happening in it, you're not going to sell that much. And if your goal is to just publish a game on Steam and just luck out and have people play it, that can totally happen. All right. These steps are just just to optimize and grease the wheels of success. If you do all of these, your game will be way more successful than it was faster than if you don't do any of these. If you don't do any of these, you're just relying solely on luck, and that can only get you so far. You can be lucky, maybe you are lucky, but you don't know. But if you do all of these things, man, you're really hooking yourself up. So if you build a community by funneling people into Discord, I highly recommend Discord because it's got a lot of features that can help you moderate your community. Then you've got a ton of people. By the time my game came out, I don't know what it's at right now, but it was at like 300 or 400 people in my Discord community. And I was able to just blast the whole community. Hey, my game just came out. Can you please go review it? Because on Steam, you need 10 reviews before the algorithm starts pushing it to people. And I was easily just able to get over that 10 review hump from people in my Discord community, buying the game, reviewing it. And I mean, that was awesome. That's amazing. You need that. I had a friend who had a big Discord community. Actually, these two guys, this thing is selling gangbusters. My God, I'm so jealous how good this is doing, especially $9.99. Dang, they maybe they are on a yacht at this point. But they had a massive Discord. I think it was like almost 5,000 to 10,000 people. And when they blasted the Discord right away, I think they sold like almost the amount of the Discord copies right away because everybody just went and bought it immediately. And that's because they built this up because they had a nice demo on itch. They had lots of people just funneled into the Discord constantly, and they were able to capitalize on that community super, super well. And, that also pays dividends in the future when you are, after you've built a community, you build another game, you can tell them about it. This community is a group of people that likes the same stuff and likes to talk about the same things. And that's this last part here. Listen to your community. The people that come into the Discord most of the time. Sometimes you get some people that come in there just want to be mean, but most of the time that's not what's happening. It's people that are in there that are like, hey, this is cool. You're cool. I want to help you. You can get like a ton of help building your game and creating something that is going to be super useful and helpful for you. All right. The last step is outreach. Now, if you don't know what outreach is, most people have probably heard about this, but if you don't know, I mean, I knew what this was, but didn't know it was called outreach. Basically, it's emailing people. I didn't know the best way to do it. If you're making a game, email is still the king. I know Discord is like, oh, reach out on Discord. That works sometimes, but because Discord's so casual, a lot of people just don't look at their Discord emails, especially if they're bigger content creators. So, email, outreach. If nobody knows what you made, they're not going to play it. All right? So, this goes back to the play to your strengths thing where you've got people like Blargus who, when I was first starting out, I was like, man, I guess I just have to make a YouTube channel that makes a viral video every single time I post. Dang it. Okay. I guess I'll just get right on that. Or, like this guy, Danny Dev, he, spelled his name backward, vet an ad just to dunk on people and made a whole nother viral YouTube channel about his freaking game. And I remember looking at this before I knew about outreach, where I was like, God dang it, I have to be a content creator too. And no, this is another one of those things where it's like, no, you don't. Obviously, if you can, it helps. I'm obviously making videos. I'm hoping that they go viral and that they do well, but that's just, it's an investment thing. It's because I like making videos. I like making a community. This does help me, but, I don't have the talent to just make viral hit after viral hit, like these guys do. And that's okay, because what you got to do is find a bunch of people that are good at making content and hit them up on YouTube. The way that you do it is you search similar games on YouTube and Twitch. So I knew that my game was like Military Incremental Complex. So I searched Military Incremental Complex, and then I found all the people that were playing Military Incremental Complex and where Military Incremental Complex was. And I just tried to find, because if you click on these people, this guy, Orbital Potato, actually played my game, which was nice. I just got lucky. He's a really nice guy. I hit him up on Discord, and he's the guy who taught me all this stuff. He's like, dude, here's what you need to do. But if you go to a lot of these channels, they've got this button right here where you can click on their email and you can collect their email. And you just search similar games, find all the channels that played games that are like yours, make a big spreadsheet, and then you get yourself a mass emailer. And then do an email blast. I didn't do this part. I wish I had done this part. This would have changed. I probably would have sold double if I had done this. I just did this part. After you make the spreadsheet, get your mass emailer. And before you release your demo on Steam, because you already have your demo out on itch, that's fine. The whole point of putting your demo out on itch is to make is to, put everything together, listen to your community, build your game up, get it into a better state, make a nice vertical slice of a game, and then get your Steam page up because Next Fest is coming. So get a nice, awesome, killer demo up, put it on Steam, post it there, and if you can, about 3 weeks before Next Fest, maybe 2 weeks, probably a month, I don't know, somewhere in there. I didn't do this at all, but do some outreach and say, hey, Next Fest is coming up. Play my demo. Reach out to them 1 or 2 times, give them a link to the demo on Steam, and then ask them if they want a key. All right? I know that Aramis, he made a game about feeding a black hole. He has a video out about his outreach email, and he asked for this. He said, hey, here's my demo. If you'd like a key for the final game, please reach out to me. And that's killer because then you get all these people that play your demo. You get tons of coverage, and that funnels so many wish lists. And if you have a ton of wish lists going into Next Fest puts you up on the front page so that people don't have to look for you. No matter what, Next Fest will get you wish lists. I only got about 1,500 wish lists from Next Fest, which sounds like a lot, but you need 7 to 10K going into launch in order to get on the new and trending pages. I only ended up having like 4,000, and then I did some more outreach and ended up hitting 7,000. If you do this with your demo and you ask them about a key, hopefully you have about 3,000 to 5,000 going into Next Fest. And then once you hit Next Fest, you will soar. All right, so this is the key point right here. This is everything. If you nail this, you're golden, pony boy. And in order to nail this, you also have to have done this. And part of making a good game is also having good capsule art that people want to click on. So no problem. The last step, obviously, after Next Fest is to blast again. And by blast, I mean send out more emails. Do that 2 or 3 more times. So like, hey, thanks for playing. We just finished Next Fest. Launch is coming up. You should probably be launching within a month or 2 after Next Fest. But you're blasting again saying, here is a key. The second blast, you send the keys. All right, Potato taught me about that and was like, dude, always send a key. I will always, and I think I sent out 130, I sent out 700 keys. 137 of them were redeemed. And you can see in your back end, especially if you make content creator keys, you can see in the back end of Steam if they're being activated. And, that was like a good chunk of my keys that was being activated that I could see. And once those are activated, there's a good likelihood that these people will play your game and you'll get even more wish lists. And then you will launch and you'll profit. All right, so let's review how to win on Steam. Make a good game, make a demo that you post on the internet, and do outreach. All right, that's it. That's all it is. Thanks to my Patreon supporters. If you haven't played Execute, go play Execute. Even though I paid off my student loans, I have a baby coming soon, and I could use some extra money to help that happen. So I'm not begging, but I'm begging a little bit. If it doesn't look like something you're interested in, you don't have to buy it. Thank you so much for watching this video. And thank you for being here. Thanks for being a part of my community. I hope I helped some of you. Please go make cool games. Talk to me on Discord. I'm always down to answer questions or help you with anything you need help with. All right. Happy New Year and goodbye.